Oh, well, here we are, eh? So this is our first ever podcast, and we thought as a easy introduction, we'd bring on one of my good friends who's got quite a good story to chat about. Um, Quite uplifting story, I reckon. So
It's nice of you to say, mate.
yeah. So this is my debut. We've got Emily Rabbit who does our social media, sitting over there in the corner as well. I'm Mark Sheehan. I'm Sheehan Financial. Running this business for about 17, 18 years in Nelson. This is my good friend Conal Beban. So, how long have you been here in Nelson now?
Oh, about 11 years.
Yep.
Firstly, what a privilege and an honour to be the first guest on the next big thing.
Sheehan TV.
Yeah. No, so
But this is not your debut, right? Have you ever had a microphone in front of your face before?
a couple.
Yep.
Yeah. No. My portfolio is getting bigger. Yeah.
So you're Conal's insurance broker here in town. Tell us, how long have you been doing that now?
Insurance broking about, I fell into insurance like everyone does. And probably 22 years now. I started off doing bloodstock insurance.
Right.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a country man, of course.
Oh, yeah, from Greymouth originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and spent most of my time down south in boarding school and university down south, and ended up in Christchurch. And fell into insurance and never left. Yeah.
And so we thought Conal was a guest as well. It'd be quite good explaining, because we have an insurance broking arm, just how that sort of works for us compared to the sort of stuff that Conal does as well. So anyway, so your story, Conal, it was about 2017, wasn't it, when
I went out for lunch with you. I went out for lunch with you. I had pizza and a Coke, and then it was in intensive care and like 2 hours later. So yeah. But no, it was, I kind of hadn't been sleeping well for a few weeks and had headaches and things, and couldn't breathe. And I think I'd been in a meeting with you and a client earlier that morning, and I was puffing. And so I actually went to the doctor, which normally I wouldn't do. And they sent me away with some prednisone because we thought it was asthma. And then weirdly, I went back 3 days later, which I wouldn't have done because I just couldn't sleep. And then they did an ECG and told me to drive myself into the hospital. And I asked what ward, and emergency department. And I didn't leave for 10 days after that, which I thought was a big overreaction, but it turns out it wasn't. So
didn't you have a blood pressure reading that they couldn't?
Well, 260 over 160. So as far as I know, to the best of my knowledge, that's a Nelson Hospital record, which you shouldn't be proud of.
Yeah, I shouldn't be laughing.
But someone has to have the record, and that might as well be me. So, but it turns out that's quite serious. So they put me in intensive care, and I kind of...
They didn't know what was wrong for a spell, did they?
No, they were just trying to work out why it caused that. And so, they came to me with a diagnosis that I had like end stage 4, start of stage 5 kidney failure. So kidney failure goes in from 1 to 5, 5 being the worst, 1 being the best. And I was pretty much at the end of 4 and start of stage 5.
Yeah,
so
you were young though, eh? 30.
30, about 38, 37, 38.
Is that
Yeah.
common? Like, wouldn't be common.
Oh, no, it's not really. No, it's not common. It's not to be encouraged. Yeah. But no, it wasn't common. But it was, I thought it was a big overreaction. I had work in the morning. I couldn't stay for 10 days. Yeah. But no, it turns out it's not. But that was the first time you guys got involved, because the benefit under the trauma insurance claim. Yeah.
So we did Conal's life and health insurances. So there was an intensive care payout on that particular policy, right?
Yeah.
Paid out.
Yeah.
So, were you in intensive care for 4 or 5 nights, something like that?
5 nights, but 4 days and 20 hours.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is important. But
If
anyway,
it's grey, we'll pay. Yeah. But
so Partners Life did a good payout there, right?
they were
And then-
fantastic. Yeah. And so were you guys. You went into bat for me on that claim and got the policy wording changed, didn't you?
Got it done.
Yeah. So, so that was great, and that was a huge boost at the time.
So they diagnosed you kidney failure. Then what happened from there? Yeah.
Well, I thought I didn't really know anything about it. I was quite naive. Naivety is quite good in some ways. So I had no idea what that meant. I just thought that dialysis, you could go in and and give it a try, because they basically say, oh, you're going to go on dialysis. And I think he had cardiomyopathy as well.
That's right, yeah.
From the resting heart rate was like 120 beats a minute. Now it's I think I'm like 41 now.
Jeez.
Medicated. And so when they tell you you've got a diagnosis like that, you kind of have two options. You have dialysis or a kidney transplant. So it only kind of became serious to me when they came down and started saying, oh, look, you have to go to Wellington for 6 weeks to learn how to do hemodialysis, or there's this other way, peritoneal dialysis. And then they explained the reality of that.
Pretty confronting, eh?
Yeah, well, you're hooked up for a machine basically for 10 hours overnight. Yeah.
Jeez.
I just thought dialysis was something you could give a try, see if it made you feel better. And
do they have it
once a week?
Do they have that?
Yeah, they've got a dialysis centre, but most people end up learning how to do it at home.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that was the reality.
And I can remember those times because we were, your lifestyle changed quite a bit, quite abruptly. You couldn't eat bananas. I remember that because of the potassium.
Too much potassium.
And so on. You certainly couldn't have beer after work anymore, which was sad for everyone.
Well, yeah, not for a start until I became a bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
But
and then how long you were managing it for a couple of years, right? Lost a bit of weight, to be fair to you.
I did, and then I put it back on.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, you have to get to the point where, because when they announce you, when they tell you that a transplant's your best course of treatment, you pretty much have to get to a point where you. The risks of doing the benefits of doing the operation outweigh the risks. So you can't just get in straight away and go, just chuck one out now. You have to get to a point where, the benefits outweigh the risks of doing it. And that's about, I think I was like 6% kidney function when they did that. But I was incredibly lucky because the best result you get is a preemptive transplant. So that's from a live donor prior to having dialysis. And so I had a mate, Andy, who just saw me once, thought I wasn't looking great, and made up his mind to give me a kidney.
Yeah, legend, right?
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. And turns out he was a match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uni mate, right?
Yeah. Known Andy since first year at uni. Yeah. But I never expected him to give me a part of himself. His kidney.
Yeah.
It's life changing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So kidney transplant, when was that?
2022, 17th of January 2022. Wow. Yeah, I'll remember that one.
Yeah.
So, you get to. We were lucky because it was planned. We planned everything. So it was great. All I really had to do was rock up on the day. Not like people who have to wait around for a phone call or have people stay a couple of hours away from the hospital or whatever. Yeah, I was able to be. I had the Rolls Royce treatment. Yeah.
So once again, still pretty young, right? Pretty major.
Yeah.
For you and Andy.
Yeah, I was 41 at the time. Yeah. So, but again, to talk about your side of things, I had income protection insurance in place. And when I had those policies, I had no idea what they did.
Yeah.
Like just take them out, and I never expected to use them. I think I'll probably tell you this now. I think the week before, or a couple of weeks before that first trauma claim, I was even thinking, I'm not sure if I need any of this anymore, or what point.
That's right.
Yeah. Bad attitude now, mate.
Well, you get it, don't you? You see the money going out and don't know what it's for, and a couple of years later you're claiming it.
But that was, that was great. When you've got to have an operation and it's a major one, you get yourself lined up. So as soon as there's certain things you can tick off to make the whole process easier. And one of those is knowing that that you don't have to worry about money. You can take as long off as you need to recover. And that was really good. So by the time the day of the operation rolled around, as soon as I knew Andy was okay, because he goes in first and then I have to wait around. But it's quite good because you can find out if he's all right. And then they chuck the kidney in. So by the time, I was waiting in the waiting room and I asked how Andy was, and they said it was all good. I was completely, it was great. Good to go. Yeah.
And not many complications. I mean, you told me some stories which we won't repeat here, I don't think, but weren't too many complications coming after the operation.
Oh, I had a couple. But they warn you before. They warn you about those. So I had, I ended up going back down to, well, actually, I had a few. So the first one was the day after I arrived back. I was 8 nights in Christchurch Hospital. The day after I arrived back, I had pain in my chest, and it turned out I had a blood clot in my lung.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was quite severe, far more painful than a kidney transplant. So I ended up in 4 nights in Christchurch Hospital. Nelson Hospital, and had to learn to inject myself and things like that. But that was fine. You know, it's all they warn you there'll be some speed bumps, so you come to expect them. But that was, I didn't plan on staying there. And then when I got home, I found out that was around the Omicron time. And then I found out I'd been a close contact on the plane on the ride back from Christchurch to Nelson.
Yeah, and immunosuppressants and all that.
On immunosuppressants, 8 days out of a kidney transplant. Yeah, and then I thought I'd infected the medical ward at Nelson Hospital too. And then I had another couple of problems. I had it's called hydronephrosis.
Right.
And that's basically where your bladder's, your kidney's producing urine, but it can't get into your bladder. So I spent, I had a couple of stints, and they did a nephrostomy, which is where they basically puncture a tube into your kidney, and it drains everything out. So I had 2 of those, but to be honest, they were just small hiccups, because after you've been through that, you kind of I don't know. I was kind of in the mindset that no matter what they threw at me, I'd be all good. Yeah. And it was.
Of it, right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
And so was that 2022, and life's changed a fair whack since then for you? Sort of,
mate.
Living your best life.
Well, I lost a bit of weight.
What was that, like 20 kilos?
26, I think it was. No, it was about 26 kilos. Yeah, but it's just because your body's getting rid of the fluid,
right,
and things. And I started exercising a bit more and maybe taking care of myself. Yeah, I kind of decided you can't thank someone for giving your kidney, but the best way you can do it is by respecting it and looking after yourself as much as you can, and kind of honouring what he did. And so that's what I decided to do. So, we've done a fair bit since then. Right? Yeah, absolutely, mate. So we've done a fair bit since then. We went to myself and Andy have been to the transplant games, the World Transplant Games.
What was it? Was Perth the first one?
Went to Perth. Yeah.
When was that?
2023. 2023, first time I got COVID over there.
So it's like the Olympics for people with
transplants. Yeah. So the transplant game, World Transplant Games.
New Zealand, you're representing New Zealand.
Yeah, represent New Zealand. Cool. Yeah. So never made the All Blacks, never made the Black Caps, but I had a kidney transplant, so I can go. They were the first ones, and I did the 5K run.
Yep. Got injured, didn't you?
I got injured in 2 months before. Couldn't train for 2 months before. Got beaten by the blind Usain Bolt. Fair bit went wrong for me, but I did that. The cricket ball throw, the 800 metres. And that was fantastic.
Any medals? That one?
No medals. No medals.
And so, Andy, didn't Andy win? He went over as well, didn't he? Perth?
Yeah, Andy dominated, but he caught COVID early.
Oh, right.
And so he couldn't make like the last 3 events he was in, which he would have won.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I'm not biased, but he would have won.
Because is it true you've both got one of his kidneys now, right? So, and you can function pretty much like you got
absolutely.
2, right?
Yeah. I've got 3.
Yeah. Okay.
So they don't get rid of the old ones. They leave those. They just disconnect the plumbing on one.
Okay.
And chuck one in. But yeah, Andy's got he's got one, and it worked so well that they were worried that I was, because they pump you full of fluids.
Mm-hmm.
As much as you can. I remember them coming in and looking, and it's because the idea is they need you to produce the kidney to produce as much urine as possible in the first 24 hours, and I think they put like 26 litres of fluid in me.
Jeez.
Yeah, my weight went up by 5 kilos, so 21 litres in 24 hours.
Jeez.
It's not a bad record. I think it might be a record, but I don't know.
But you took to the transplant games representing New Zealand, and you took to it, right? And you were you the secretary for a while, or
I was vice president.
Vice president,
yeah. I'm president now.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So we went to games in Dresden.
Yep.
This year, just got back in August. So what did I do there? I did 5K, doubles petanque, got yellow carded in that.
Without mentioning countries, what was going on there? How do you get a yellow card in transplant games?
Look, if someone's cheating and you call them out, and I may have touched another man's bowls, which they frowned upon. But what else did we do? We had a 400 metre team.
Yep.
A 4x400 metre team. We set a New Zealand record.
There you go.
Primarily because no other New Zealand's never entered that event before, but that's irrelevant. High jump. It's disappointing I didn't medal in the high jump, but then I'd had 2 practice jumps, and that was the first time I'd done the high jump since I was 18, so I went all right. And a couple other events, but yeah, just a fantastic experience.
Now, you'd injured before that as well, right? On the old knee?
That's right, actually. Yeah. I'd almost forgotten about that. I was doing a training run, and a dog took me out and fractured my fibula.
So what happened? Just knocked you over? Just ran alongside you? And
the dog came off worse.
Yeah.
It was 2 dogs. It was down by the Mai Tai, and a dog was chasing another dog, and it cut in front of me, and then the lab took out my knee. And
I think the polite insurance pay out for that as well. I think the polite way to phrase it is that it allowed you enough time. You didn't have to worry about money so much, so you could afford to go to these games in Dresden.
Mate, that was it. Yeah. Again, that insurance partner's life see my name regularly, unfortunately. But I got to pay it. And that was literally walking past down the street on crutches. And Sam, your offsider, saw me and just mentioned it to you, and then you rang me up. And next thing I know, we've got a claim payout. Again, thank you.
I was going to segue into the snap my Achilles, obviously, as you know, and got operated on about a year ago, and that triggered a claim. The same thing, you don't have to worry about, your bills getting paid because your insurance is paying for a spell, and
that's right.
That allowed me the pressure to come off to go to New York with the kids a bit earlier in the year. So
good,
So there you go.
Not to be encouraged, but it is, if something happens, it's great.
That's what they're there for, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
So transplant games, no medals again. Just records and yellow cards?
Just records and yellow cards. It's actually harder to get a yellow card in the transplant games than the medal. They're far more uncommon. I think that was the second one they've ever awarded or something like that. So,
now, so tell us about last year you also did the fundraiser, the racing rod for Rānui.
Yeah, that's
so how did that all come about?
Well,
great day out, by the way.
Great day out, yeah. So before my transplant and afterwards, I spent overall like 28 nights in Rānui House in Christchurch. So Rānui House is it's kind of like Ronald McDonald House, but it's set up for anyone can go there. It's for families from the regions that need life-saving medical treatment, and they can get it in Christchurch. So they stay in Rānui House and apartments.
So it's a pure charity, eh?
Yeah. So it doesn't cost anything. They're funded primarily, I think it's by the government travel allowance and whatever raise or grant money they raise or grants they do make themselves. But a fantastic place, and the idea is that to keep families together while they're going through life-saving medical treatment, and it's about $180 a night per family of 4 for an per night. And I think about 20% of their patients come from the Nelson, Marlborough, Tasman regions. But anyway, I'd watch a YouTube video on a Sunday night about 10 Australians who were trying to break the world marathon record, running around a 400-metre track. Well, that's quite a good idea for a fundraiser. So I was thinking about, I was talking to Julian Matthews, who's setting up the spectacle in conjunction with his partner, Annie. And I was trying to recruit him. I thought we should do this down in Christchurch, a fundraiser for our Rānui, and Julian being a great runner. And then he suggested we have it in Nelson and try and beat Rod Dixon's 1983 New York Marathon winning time of 2:08:59.
Wow.
I think it was. And yeah, so that was about 2 months before the event, and we just kind of threw it all together, recruited some people, and went out and did it. It was fantastic, and we raised just under 17,000.
Jeez!
So that gives that 17,000. That's kind of like 3 months sort of stay for a family of 4 in there. So
would you have? Would we have 30, 40 people doing that 200-metre legs, something like that?
We started off with about 60.
Yeah.
And I reckon we ended up with about 30. Yeah.
A few injuries.
Yeah, we had a fair few injuries. Yeah. I think we had about 7 hammies.
Yeah. There was a
Couple of
quad.
knees.
That quad was pretty nasty on.
Yeah.
Nice and bruised.
Yeah.
And so you're running around, and Rod's, he's Nelson.
He is Nelson based.
Yeah.
He was. We offered him to do the last leg, but we were beating his time. So he thought he'd run backwards and throw the baton away. Yeah. Which was good to see, But we did it in an hour 46 and 19 seconds.
Yeah, fantastic.
Give or take. So,
record.
Yeah, which was a bit of a shame actually, because it kind of threw it. That was our next few years ideas of times to beat, all blown out in one. So we just extended the distance slightly this year to make it a bit harder. But yeah, the idea really is about raising money for Rānui House. I think I saw they put out a stat the other day. They've had this year so far, 3,800 and something nights have been for families from the top of the south.
Oh, well. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And on average, there's about 9 people from the top of the South Island stay in Rānui every night. So that could be, the patient plus 3 family members or whatever, but there's 9 people from up here who are staying in there every night. So that's why it's important to get out and raise a bit of money for them.
So the spectacle, December the 5th?
6th. Oh, 5th and 6th.
5th and 6th.
Yeah.
And your relays on
the 6th.
On the 6th, right? Yeah. So how do you get involved? Do you still need runners, or you want sponsorship?
Everything. We'll take everything. Yeah. It's always good to have more runners than less, particularly younger people, because they're a lot faster than the rest of us.
More than one.
Yeah, and we're lucky this year we've got Nelson's fastest man over 40 participating, because he doesn't have an injured Achilles. Over 45. Yeah. So, but no, we need as many people as we can, and to raise if we could raise 30 grand would be fantastic. And we've got a Raisley site. If people Googled Racing Rod for Rānui, they'd find our Raisley site, and away we go. But yeah, if they want to get in, they'll track us down, and we've got bright yellow T-shirt for them. We're good to go.
So it's quite a journey, right? From when we're sitting there having lunch and you're breathing funny, to roll on whatever this is now, 8 or 9 years, and you're putting together this 30, 40 people, to try to raise money for a charity that helped you out.
Yeah, well, you kind of. I don't know. I kind of don't want to look back and go, I should have done that. I'd rather be in the mindset, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah. Cool.
So that to me is what it's all about. And
seriously fun day as well last year.
It was awesome.
All good.
Good people. It was real good.
Doing something awesome.
Yeah. There's a few people that we need to monitor what legs they do and repeat doing them. The downhill one, but it was awesome. It was really good. So we had a great bunch of people, and most of them are returning. Most of them are returning. Yeah, and a lot of new entrants though. Would be good.
Oh no, so that's I guess that's Conal's story, and hopefully that's an interesting first podcast from us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's kind of on you. That's the other reason that I got you in, mate.
No, you need
the blame.
You need a target, don't you? Yeah.
But I guess that's the the insurance. I guess people don't think it's going to happen to them. There's a young fella it happened to, unfortunately. Yeah. And certainly helped you through.
Well, I don't make many good decisions, but that was certainly one of my best ones. I got that in place early, kept it going, and used it multiple times, more times than I wished.
Kind of stuck with it now.
I can't change anywhere. Yeah, and that's it for me.
But it is a good story, mate. And you have honoured Andy and his kidney, and I know
Thanks,
that,
mate.
With everything you've done, mindset, looking after your body, work, building that great business.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's a little all about mindset. It's the gratitude's something that when you get a kidney transplant from someone, it's pretty easy. And you could be having a bad day, but at least you're out there. You can go for a run, you can walk outside, you can do all these things that you probably if you were on dialysis or worse, you know, you don't get that chance.
Cheers.
So yeah, so it's good to it's it is kind of like a full circle journey, because I certainly live a better lifestyle than I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In every aspect, eh?
Yeah. So it's great. Yeah.
Anyway, there we go. So that'll
Well done.
wrap up, I think, today's session.
No, I've got no more to contribute to you there, mate.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, thanks for your time. Thanks for coming in, and thanks,
Excellent.
guys, for producing.
Thank you.
And see you next time.
That's it.